What's up, it's Richie here with Statifying Football. This is for week 12 of the NFL season, the Sunday games anyway, on Thanksgiving weekend. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals, pretty big game, a divisional game for them. Pittsburgh lost in a shootout to the Chargers 41-37. Ben Roethlisberger 273, 3 touchdowns. Deontay Johnson 7 catches, 101 and a touchdown. Cam Sutton 10 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and a pass defense. Cincinnati, they destroyed the Las Vegas Raiders 32-13. Joe Burrow 148 and a touchdown. Joe Mixon ran for 123 and 2 touchdowns. This will be a close game. It'll go back and forth. Cincinnati is favored by 4.5. I don't know why, but I'm going to give the Steelers the edge here. I think they're really, this close. I think they could, if they sneak into the playoffs, they will be a team to be reckoned with, and I'm going to say Pittsburgh will win that game. All right, Tampa Bay and Indianapolis. Tampa, they beat the Giants 30-10 on Monday Night Football. Tom Brady, 307, 2 touchdowns. They had 402 yards of offense. Defensively forced 3 turnovers. Facing a really good team in the Colts, though, they destroyed the Bills 41-15. Carson Wentz only 106 passing a touchdown, but Jonathan Taylor is on a tear. Ran for 185 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns and had a receiving touchdown. They ran for 264 yards and forced 4 turnovers defensively. Jonathan Taylor, if I remember correctly, I read that he is tied an NFL record with over 100 scrimmage yards in 7 straight games. This will be a big, tough test for Tampa Bay. They have the number 1 rush defense, have had it for the last 2 years, 3 years in a row. But Jonathan Taylor is maybe the best running back, one of the best running backs in the league. This is one of the best running games in the league. This is really going to put that defense to the test for Tampa Bay. They cannot turn over. They're going to have to force some turnovers. Basically, if we can hold, I'm a Bucs fan, if they can hold Jonathan Taylor to about 80 rushing yards, that'll be a win. I think that should be a win for the Bucs. I'm going to say, oh man, I want the Bucs to win. I'm going to say Tampa edges them out. I think this will be a really, really close game though. All right, Carolina and Miami. Carolina, they lost to Washington 27-21. Cam Newton played the game, passed for 189, 2 touchdowns, ran for 46 yards and a touchdown. Jeremy Chin, 13 tackles and a tackle for loss. Miami, they beat the Jets 24-17 with Tua Tagovailoa passing for 273, 2 touchdowns, and a pick in that game. Carolina's looked pretty good. Miami's looked better as of lately, but I think overall I believe that Carolina is a better team than Miami, and I'm going to go give the edge to the Carolina Panthers to win that game. All right, Tennessee Titans and New England Patriots, huge game. This could be for maybe number 1 eventually, it could be for the number 1 overall seed eventually in the AFC conference. Tennessee, they lost a surprising loss to Houston 22-13. Ryan Tannehill passed for 323 and a touchdown, but he had 4 interceptions. They had 5 turnovers total. Nick Westbrook, Akine, 7 catches, 107. The defense actually held Houston only 190 total yards, but those 5 turnovers really hurt them. Jaylen Brown had 14 tackles. New England, they blanked Atlanta 25-0. Mac Jones 207, a touchdown, a pick, but their defense won that. They only allowed 165 total yards with 4 sacks, 4 turnovers, and an interception return for a touchdown. I think Tennessee losing Derrick Henry is a huge deal for them. New England's defense is playing great. Mac Jones is playing well. He doesn't really have to do much. I think they'll beat the Titans, and the Patriots are back, it looks like. All right, the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. Philly's looking pretty good too. They beat New Orleans 40-29. Jalen Hurts passed for 147. He ran for 69 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. They ran for 242 as a team. Defensively forced 3 turnovers, had a pick 6, with TJ Edwards getting 10 tackles, a tackle for loss, and 2 passes defensed. The Giants lost to Tampa Bay 30-10. They did not look good. Daniel Jones 167, a touchdown, 2 picks, a turnover 3 times. I don't think this will be close. Philadelphia looks like a really, really good team trying to fight for a wild card spot, and I think they win that game pretty easily. All right, Atlanta and Jacksonville, the pillow fight game. Atlanta, they got blanked by New England 25-0. Matt Ryan passed for 153, 2 interceptions. He got benched. Josh Rosen, the stupid one, I say stupid, he was known as the Rosen one or the chosen one, and he sucks. His second pass was one interception, and good old Felipe Franks, the terrible Gator that used to be first ever NFL pass interception. Who would have thunk it? They only had 165 total yards, 4 turnovers in that one. Foyesada Olukan had 10 tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss. Jacksonville, they lost 30-10 to San Francisco. Trevor Lawrence passed for 158. They only had 54 rushing yards in that game. Miles Jack, 12 tackles. Josh Allen, 10 tackles, and a tackle for loss. That being said, all that stuff about Atlanta, they do have a better offense than what Jacksonville has. I think Atlanta bounces back, and I think they will beat Jacksonville. At the Jets and Houston, Jets come out for 24-17 loss to Miami. Joe Flacco, 291 and 2 touchdowns. Elijah Moore, 8 catches, 141 and a touchdown. Quincy Williams, 15 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Houston had a pretty good victory against Tennessee, 22-13. Tyrod Taylor, 107 passing, but ran for 28 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. They only had 190 total yards, but they won because they forced 5 turnovers. Camu Grugier here, 12 tackles, 2 passes defense. Eric Murray, 11 tackle, pass defense. And Zach Cunningham, 11 tackle, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 pass defense. That even though Houston beat Tennessee, I think the Jets are the better overall team. Tyrod Taylor is a good quarterback. So I guess I'm kind of leaning. I don't know, for whatever reason, I think the Jets are going to win. All right, you got the Chargers and Denver. Chargers, they beat Pittsburgh in a shootout, 41-37. Justin Herbert, 382, 3 touchdowns, and ran for 90 yards. Keenan Allen, 9 catches, 112. They had 533 total yards. They had 12 penalties, though, in that game. Denver coming off by their last game. They lost to Philadelphia 30-13 with 226 passing by Teddy Bridgewater. Denver is kind of a weird, inconsistent team. I think Chargers maybe got something back against Pittsburgh. I think Chargers will just outscore Denver. All right, you got the LA Rams and Green Bay. This is huge this could be a shootout and huge for maybe a first round or a number 1 overall seed in the NFC. Rams coming off a bye, though. They got killed by San Francisco in their last game, 31-10. Matt Stafford, 243, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Cooper Kupp, 11 catches, 122. Troy Reader, 11 tackles and a tackle for loss. And Taylor Rapp had 10 tackles, 1 sack, and a tackle for loss. Green Bay lost on a last-second field goal in a high-scoring game against Minnesota, losing 34-31. Aaron Rodgers, 385 passing, 4 touchdowns, ran for 21 yards. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 4 catches, 123 and a touchdown. Devontae Adams, 7 catches, 115 and 2 touchdowns. And 4 touchdowns, had 467 total yards. I think Green Bay will bounce back. The Rams did not look very good against San Francisco, kind of been on a down skid. I think Green Bay bounces back. They may be the best team in the NFC, and I think they will win that game. All right, huge game for maybe a wild card spot. Minnesota and San Francisco right back in this thing. Both teams are 5-5. Minnesota had a huge win against Green Bay, 34-31. Kirk Cousins, 341 and 3 touchdowns. Jamar Jefferson, 8 catches, 116 and 2 touchdowns. They had 408 total yards with 10 tackles from Eric Kendricks. And San Francisco did what they could against Jacksonville. They beat them 30-10. Jimmy Garoppolo, 176, 2 touchdown passes. They ran for 171 as a team. That'll be the difference in San Francisco's defense against Minnesota's really good offense. And see if they can play keep away with a decent running game from San Francisco. I'm actually kind of leaning towards San Francisco here. Minnesota does have to travel out there. So we're going to go San Francisco wins and gets a leg up for a possible wild card berth. All right, then Cleveland and Baltimore, big game for that division. For that division, Cleveland, they were able to get by Detroit only 13-10. Baker Mayfield was not very good, 176, a touchdown and 2 picks. They won because Nick Chubb ran for 130 yards. Baltimore, they just eked past Chicago 16-13. Tyler Huntley played for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was sick. Huntley passed for 219 and an interception, ran for 40 yards there. I think this will be kind of a low-scoring game, close game. Assuming Lamar Jackson is back and healthy, I'm going to say the Baltimore Ravens will get the win there. All right, and going to Monday night, Seattle and Washington. Seattle lost 23-13 Arizona. Russell Wilson, 207 passing. Tyler Lockett, 4 catches, 115. Jordan Brooks, 15 tackles, a tackle for loss. Bobby Wagner, 14 tackles. And Sidney Jones with 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and a pass defense. Washington, they were able to beat Carolina 27-21. Taylor Heineke, 206, 3 touchdowns, and 29 rushing yards. Terry McLaurin, 5 catches, 103 and touchdown. Cole Holcomb, 10 tackles, and a pass defense. Seattle has to fly all the way across the country to Washington. Washington's playing well. They beat Tampa. They beat Carolina, two pretty decent teams. Russell Wilson, he just came back. It was his first start in a while. We'll see if that will be a difference for them. And I'm actually going to go with Washington here to get that victory there. So those are my picks for the NFL. Check out all of my other videos later. Peace.